Alright, so we're going to go over how to install WireGuard and get it all set up for a basically point-to-point or remote user session with two NanoPi R2Ss. They're here. They have a fresh installation of OpenWRT installed on them, and so we're going to go literally through the entire thing and set it all up. So first things first, I need to move my network connection. Actually, let's get a baseline off of this guy here. It's a NanoPi Neo 2 Black. We are just going to run a quick iPerf to it so we can get a baseline of what kind of throughput we see. So everything's running through my little switch right here. And as you see, it's about what I would expect. So from there, let's power on this guy right here. This is the home side of everything. These are the first gen NanoPi R2Ss. So that means that it does not have USB-C. The newer model has the USB-C. So this is the connection that goes to my device that we're working on right now. So in a second that should come up and we should get an IP address. And it's 1.196. Wonderful. So start new session. And that might be too big. Let's see if I can figure out how to fix this really quick. Let's try the new terminal. That's a little bit better, I think. Maybe not. There we go. Alright, that's still legible. Alright, so from here, we do, actually, I created a script for all this, so let's just run it. So basically it comes up with this. So this is the server. And I need to change my IP address. So when these come up, they're always going to come up with 192.168.1.1 as their LAN side. So what I'm doing is I'm setting up, I'm changing the IP address to, actually this just changes the host name. Then I change the IP address. So there's the host name. Then the second part is changing the IP address. So in this case, I have it going to 250.1.1 for my server. And it's going to kick me out. So when this happens, I need to pull a new IP address from the device. So the easiest way is just pull the plug it back in, and then we'll start a new session. SSH 10.250.1.1. I think I can log in as root. There we go. So we're back in it. So the next steps on here is to do an OPKG update. And I have this all written down, otherwise I would completely forget how to do this. all of the links and stuff like that, or all the commands and stuff like that will be in the link below. So that's coming down. We're going to do this. And I'll go through my script as well as soon as this is done. So this is going to install WireGuard. Okay, that's installed. And then we generate our PSKs. And since okay, and then we need to see what our PSKs are. So these right here are the PSKs that I need to enter back into my script at the top. So server.raw or server_raw has all that information. So I just replace it, and then I can run the script again. And all of the above information is the same. But that basically means that we are done with the server side for now. So let's move on to our remote user. And that's going to boot up. And I'm moving my network cable over to it. So we got disconnected from over here, which is fine. And we'll click this. It's probably not up yet, but when it does come up, it'll work. Root. All right, so we're gonna go through basically the same thing. So first things first, we're gonna change the host name. On this one, I also add a DNS entry for the next hop. So when I do my trace routes, I can see what it is. It's fine. Okay, now I change the IP address. And again, it'll kick me out when it's done because the IP address changed. So we're done with 192.168.1.1. So let's add a new session, SSH, and it's going to be 10.250.02.1. We'll specify username again as root. I'm not setting up passwords. I'm not securing these things. This is just kind of a proof of concept. Ah, forgot the important part. Get a new IP address. Yes, IP config release renew would work. Pulling a plug is just easier for me. That's going to fail again. There we go. And now it'll work. And you see that it has OpenWRT Remote as that name. And then, well, that one's not up. So let's go ahead and install WireGuard on here. Or update it and then install WireGuard. All right. WireGuard's turn. the next two commands. Okay. And then this got the keys, which I will copy and paste right here. So clients. All right. And then I'll run this again. All right, so that's all done, and it's squeezing 62 more lines. Let's view these. All right. So what we're going to do, minimize that. So because I'm on the client already, let's take a look at the client configuration. So we already did that part. Now we'll configure the firewall. Yes. Okay. It does give a WAN cannot resolve VPN because we haven't created it yet, which is fine. So now we're going to configure that network, and that the private key is shown right here. So that's what we got earlier in the video. Okay, that all took. Go back here. And we're going to add the VPN peer. So that's going to be this guy right here, the home connection. Let's remember we're connected into the remote. And just paste it all in. Dumps in great. Shows the port that I'm connecting on. And I'm forcing all of the network traffic across, so I could split tunnel it, but I want everything to go there. So that's it. Now let's move back over to this guy. So now we're back on home, and that should be this guy. There we go. All right, so let's go back to the top of this where it says server. We already did that part earlier. We will configure the firewall. This has different firewall settings because it has to accept the inbound connection. So I'm using this as a point-to-point more than or as a client server rather than peer-to-peer. WireGuard is designed to be peer-to-peer, but it all just kind of works. All right, let's see. That's done. We're going to configure the network portion. Again, this one also gave the error of cannot resolve VPN because we haven't created it yet. This will create the interface with the private key that we set up earlier, IP address. All of that's in my script that I created, so I don't have to think about it. All right, so that's done. And we're going to create the peer and restart that network. All right, so if we do WG, so you see that it has the peer, the PSK, and in theory, these should start talking to each other. Let me connect back over to the other one. Give it a second. I will tell you what I misconfigured. Let's figure that out now. So let's go back over to the home. Because I'm pointing to a specific IP address, I didn't verify that that was actually the IP address that this device got. So, which I believe, no, that's not it. So let's check. So check the ifconfig. And that's the IP address we should be pointing to. I can almost guarantee that I am not pointing to that IP address. Pull out my script. And in the script it says 175 right there. Let's replace that, rerun the script. We'll view those lines. And so that's going to be into the client side where I have it right here. So what I can do is I need to go back to the remote side. Give it a second and then I'll restart. There we go. So if I do UCI show, I think it's network, it shows everything, and you see that it has the network WG endpoint host as 0.175. So we're going to replace that by typing UCI set network host. I don't know why, without the space. And then we'll do show network, just show that it changed. And it's no longer pointing to 175. It does show it at the end, but that doesn't matter. So after that, we do need to restart it. Where did my thing go? There it is. We commit and then restart. So, and now we should be able to see information being transferred. So before it was trying to connect out, which is why there was numbers incrementing on the sent, but not on the receive. But now we have them talking, and they should be working together. And one of the things I want to do is, because it's on the LAN, let's see if it'll actually work the way I want it to. There we go. So this should be going through, or this is going through the remote to the WAN side. So this is the throughput that you can expect with the R2S using OpenWRT and having a VPN tunnel, but it's not going through the tunnel. So that's not the throughput of the tunnel. So this guy is right here. We're going to move him over to here, and in a second he'll pull a new IP address. And 10.251.148. You probably can't see that, but it did pull a new IP address. So let's try that. 10.250.1.148. And this has been pretty consistent. So the throughput that I've seen with the VPN is anywhere from 300 to 400 megabit a second. Usually it's around 300. It just works. And so we are plugged into this guy right here, going through the WAN, going through the switch, coming in the WAN, and going out the LAN to this guy. So there you can see it going through the two, then it should hit my home network, and then it'll go out to the internet. So it comes, and this is the reason I set the host names up before, was so we could point out the different sections that it goes through. So this shows that my traffic is going through one, through the other, and then back out. There it is. That's it. That's all there is to it. I am going to update this script to make sure that I ask for the IP address, and then or to remind myself to pull the IP address. But then I'll share it with the world, and you guys can have fun. But it's really easy to set up once you, I guess, go through it a couple times. please leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. I'm going to try to do some more videos like this and play with some of these little devices. But anyway, have a great day.